in Nikita Koloff's life nowadays?
Well, I tell you what, Rich. Well, first of all, it's always just a pleasure to be back in the area. You know, came into the Roanoke Civic Center many times, and had a great time and entertaining the fans there, and hopefully we put on some good matches. And so, just great to be back in the area. So, thank you folks for coming out tonight. First of all, for yourselves coming out. And interesting turn of events since the days I left there. Well, for one thing, I impressed people with how well I've mastered the English language.
I was going to ask you, your English sounds very good nowadays.
I mean, it's really improved from those days, when you and I were together, when it was more like, hey! You better pay attention, or I'm going to turn your head right over your body. Shut the door.
And Uncle Ivan.
Uncle Ivan, what'd you say? Oh, you don't speak no Russian?
I don't speak no Russian.
No, I don't either.
I speak Spanish.
I don't either. I don't speak either. But interesting turn of events since I left the wrestling days. As I reflect back just quickly for the fans who some may know, some may not know. A few were talking to me at the table there. Some may not know, but interesting turn of events. I left the ring, officially early in 1993. And then it went on this quest to see what life would hold, from the future. But I knew what I did. Championship belts, step in the ring with the likes of, the Dusty Rhodes, guys like Stinger, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Total Package Lex Luger. What's your name? Randy Savage. Oh, yeah, Total Slim Jim. Blonde-haired guy, that body.
Well, let's see.
Nature Boy. So, in 1993, I'm reflecting on all these things, and of course, the championships that I've won over the years. This belt, having won it in Chicago, 1987, as I said. But more than anything, here we go.
Oh, yeah, ravishing Ric McCord. Snuck in on us. We're glad to have you here. We're doing some catch-up. I'm going to do it with you in a minute.
Another wrestling beer here, but just real quick. So as I'm reflecting on all those things, Rich, turn of events in late 1993, and found myself in a wrestling match of a lifetime. And now it didn't happen, in the squared circle like we're standing in here tonight, but for the fans who don't know, this was actually at a church, and that's where the wrestling match of a lifetime took for me, and it was on that day that I walked in out and gave my life to Jesus Christ and became a follower of Jesus. Amen. So since that time, this belt and I have traveled to over 20 different countries, ministering the gospel, telling people how the Lord changed my life. And so that's kind of the primary thing of what I do nowadays. Is we did some crusades.
We already did. We did some crusades together. We did a wrestling crusade in Colonial Heights, Virginia, about 3 years ago. No one knew coming in that it was a crusade. We wouldn't tell people. But each match had something to do with what would happen in the main event, and then would be the culmination of one person stepping in to take over his place. So it was very good. You need to get Nikita when you have a chance, maybe intermission, talk to him, go over and see what he's got over there. Matter of fact, he's got the DVD of that, The Night of Legends.
A couple left.
Got a couple left of that. But let him tell you the story. Very quickly, he'll tell you the story of it. It almost didn't happen that night, and how it ended up working well.
Yeah.
It's an interesting story, and you can see how prayer can work.
We'll get to Paul Harvey on that story.
The rest of the story.
So anyway, so I'll just fast forward. So here we are in 2010, and back in the Virginia area, and again, so I'm just traveling around the world and writing books and sharing my story and doing all kinds of things. Just love to get out with the fans like this, and I know you're gonna have a great night. And I do want to talk to you some more. We can come over to the table. I know you were here for the wrestling action, but just great to be here, and I thank you, and God bless you folks. Thank you for having me in tonight.
Thank you, Nikita. Always a pleasure. Ric McCord. I wasn't sure you were going to make it with us tonight.
I couldn't miss it.
You couldn't miss it, okay. Yeah.
I had the opportunity to drive in one of my limousines tonight.
Well, See, that's what I was going to say. Now we're going to catch up real quick on what Ravishing Ric McCord's doing.
I'm styling and profiling in his limousine.
Without the blonde hair.
Without the blonde hair.
I should have driven you, but Claire was like that.
Anyway, you remember Rick? He was back 1980s. He was part of the 80s and 90s. He was part of the tag team too. And not just in this area. You held a championship in, was it Tennessee?
Midwest.
Midwest. Yeah, Midwest in Kansas City. So what's going on with Rick now?
Just trying to keep the business going. Through the economy, everything was down last year. This year is looking really promising, and still hanging in there.
That's great. That really is. Yeah. You're based out of Roanoke. What's it? Executive Limousine Service. Okay. Yeah, if you like riding in style, that's the way to do it. You got a party bus too? Hey, you want to go to those Virginia Tech games? This is the man on the party bus. Come on.
So what Rick proves is, see, there is life after wrestling. There is life after wrestling. He's a living example of that. So.
Yeah, and that's true for me too. I've done a lot of things since after wrestling. Owned my own business for 14 years, and the economy went boom. And now I'm back doing things I like doing in emergency medicine. So it works out great for me in the end too. So it really does.
Awesome.
Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Good to see you. We're gonna have you back in a little bit. So let's see if we can get some action underway.